morning. Happy Self-Care Saturday, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well on this Saturday morning. Oh my goodness. Y'all, let me tell y'all. It's been a good week. Happy Women's History Month. We are getting started with our Women's History Month series. And it was like, at first I was like, oh, I'm going to do a live every day, interviewing one woman, briefly asking 2 or 3 questions. And then I was like, y'all know my schedule don't permit all that. So with that being said, hey, Tiffany, how are you? With that being said, I just said, well, we'll get started with this Saturday. And so who better to interview on this first Saturday of March, first Saturday of Women's History Month, no other than Andromeda Raheem, the founder and CEO of the She Wins Society. Now, She Wins Society has been out for a number of years. It actually had another name prior to She Wins, and I've had the opportunity to be a part of this organization, doing a number of things. I spoke on their cruise back, but pre-COVID days. And when I tell y'all, this is an amazing, amazing, amazing organization. I definitely highly suggest women to come out and join, especially if you want to be a part of a sisterhood that offers a lot of networking, offers a lot of support, because a lot of women need support when it comes to life matters, business, all types of things, and so who better than to join the She Wins Society, and so I'll be bringing Andromeda in 1 second. And so which she is a certified master life coach, 2 times published author, motivational speaker, and again, like I said, she is the founder of the She Wins Society. And so I'm going to bring Ms. Andromeda in so we can get this interview started, y'all. Here I come for you, Andromeda. Where you go? Oh, there you go. I'm like, where you go? He has been featured in Huffington Post, Sheen Magazine, Roll Out, and on the Redefining Wealth podcast, along with other platforms. And we welcome the She Wins Society founder, Andromeda Raheem. Hello, sister. How,
Hello. Thank you, sis, for this awesome
girl? Yes. Look, we
introduction.
gotta
Sorry,
get.
I'm trying to
Look,
get my.
I said, who better to interview on this first Saturday of Women's History Month? Right? Then the founder of the
Oh,
She Wins Society, right? Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming in and joining.
thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? You have an awesome, awesome, awesome platform that has been around for a number of years. And I
Thank
know
you.
I've attended a number of events. My first event with you guys was in New York. In New York, some years, look,
That's
some
right.
many moons
Yep.
ago.
That
Yes, and
was
it
a
was just
while
like
ago.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, and when I got there, I'm like, this is nice because I had already been following you, following everything that you were doing on
Mhm.
Facebook. Look, and now here we are, Instagram, right?
Here we are. I know
Yes,
it's
yes,
crazy, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful to
yes.
have
Well,
maintained a
I want you to
connection with all these
introduce
women.
yourself to the audience. I gave them a brief bio, but I didn't want to hold them up. I want you to speak for yourself, girl.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm so grateful to be here today. As Dr. Tyra said, I am Andromeda Raheem. I'm the founder of She Wins Society. I'm also a certified master life coach, a 2-time author, and I am really passionate about uniting and empowering women. That has what I have set my sights
Hmm.
on for the last 9 years, and I love it. It
Hmm.
definitely comes with its challenges, but it's definitely my purpose. So that's why I can
Hmm.
never, ever,
I
ever
know
leave
that's
it
right.
alone. um, I'm trying to think about if there's anything that Tyra didn't say. I'm a wife. I am a dog mom. I really, really, really
Hmm.
love traveling, which is why I host retreats for women. A lot of the things that I do
Hmm.
are mixed in, but with both my
Hmm.
passion and my purpose. So I love to travel, which is why I like to host retreats to bring women together. And then also, I most of my life, I really, really wanted to
Mhm.
have supportive relationships with
Mhm.
other women. I wanted to build with other women.
Mhm.
God gave me this very clear vision of women uniting and working
Mhm.
together and pulling together our resources and just showing me how much stronger we are and how much greater we
Mhm.
succeed when we work together.
Mhm.
There's power in our connections. And so, because I have always desired that, but not
Mhm.
always been able to find that, that's why I created She Wins Society. I wanted to create that space where
Mhm.
women could come and be supported and loved on and be free of the drama, the cattiness, the weird energy. We are truly here to build in sisterhood and
Yes,
reciprocate
and
the
look, and
love
you
that is
answered
given
my
to
first
us.
question. And so that was,
Okay.
but that was good because that was, leading into everything else, because the bottom line is we see so many things happen out there in regards to, people saying, oh, women can't work together, women can't support one another. And it's just like, and I'm looking like, I beg to differ because there's too many organizations out there
Yeah.
who do provide that safe space, right? And I say safe space because I find with the She Wins Society, I find that as a safe space for women to be able to come out, talk about their thoughts, their feelings, share their ideas, and have a whole network, right? That they can work together and basically start building, building healthy relationships with other women, because that's the thing. It's like, and it's like I hate, sometimes we out there, and I know you heard this too, where people say, oh, I can't get along with other women. And we sitting there like,
Mm-hmm.
but you are a woman,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't get
Right.
along with yourself.
Right. Right. Right.
But
Exactly,
when you
sis.
look at, the
Exactly.
platform you have built, how many years are we in existence now? Because I know She Wins was another name prior to becoming She Wins, because
Right.
that's when I met you, when it was under the other
Mm-hmm.
name, and that was Women by Choice.
Mm-hmm.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yes.
So what made you ultimately decide to change it from Women by Choice to She Wins?
Oh, that's such a good question. It really was
Mm-hmm.
an
Mm-hmm.
expression of growth, truly. So, when I started Women by Choice, I was very what's the word? I mean, I just really just jumped out there. I didn't really know.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't 100%
Okay.
clear
Mm-hmm.
about what it was that I was doing, right? When Women by Choice
Okay.
began as a personal blog where I was just writing about my
Mm-hmm.
experiences into becoming a woman, where I realized that, at 28 years old, a light bulb went off in my head, and I realized that, girl, like, you thought you
Mm-hmm.
were grown all these years, but you really
Mm-hmm.
have not really been a
Mm-hmm.
woman, not mentally anyway, until this moment where you can actually look at yourself in the mirror and recognize that you have to stop
Mm-hmm.
blaming other people for your
Mm-hmm.
problems, blaming other people for your happiness, and take true accountability for
Mm-hmm.
your own health, happiness, and success. So
Okay.
that's where the name Woman by Choice came from, is that we are, we're females by chance, but we are
Mm-hmm.
women by choice. And so it started as a blog. And that was really just
Mm-hmm.
me being in search of my purpose, because I
Mm-hmm.
realized that God gave me a gift to write. And
Mm-hmm.
so I said, I'm going to start this blog so that I
Mm-hmm.
can kind of get my juices flowing
Mm-hmm.
and see what I actually want to write a
Right.
book about. Because that was the goal, to write a book.
Right.
Okay. Not to start a community. Okay. And so
Mm-hmm.
I got started writing this blog, and I wrote about myself for a while, and then I got to a point where I started to write
Mm-hmm.
about other things that were my pain points, which are the issues that I would experience with women. Like, always had this deep desire to have like these Sex in the City type
Mm-hmm.
relationships with
Mm-hmm.
other Black women. You know what I mean? Like, our
Mm-hmm.
relationships are standing the test of time. We're going through
Right.
challenges together. We're supporting each other through difficult seasons, and we're
Mm-hmm.
celebrating each other when things are great. And so I really wanted that. And so but I was
Mm-hmm.
running into those different, again, the challenges. Like, I was one of the people where if you meet
Mm-hmm.
me,
Right.
we're friends. Hey girl, we're friends, right? And then I realized like a little bit later,
Everybody
and
ain't meant to be in that zone.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to learn that. And then I also had to learn with myself. Like there were some things that
Mm-hmm.
I was doing in relationships with other females that wasn't healthy. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
very quick to cut people off. I mean quick. Like the moment you
Mm-hmm.
do something to offend me, boom, we're done. We're not even gonna have a
Okay.
conversation about what may have happened. And so just kind of
Mm-hmm.
talking about those things, like what we can do as women to be better,
Right.
because we say we can't get along with other women, but sometimes it's things that we need to work on within
Right.
ourselves to have better relationships with other
Mm-hmm.
women, right? And so I started to talk
Mm-hmm.
about all of those different things. And from there, I started to get women to come to the blog and they're reading it and they agree. And I'm like, oh my God, I found my people. I need to
Right.
create now a community for us where we can gather together
Mm-hmm.
and have more of these conversations. And so that's how Women by Choice went into
Mm-hmm.
becoming a community. I started to kind of just locally in my area, just bring women together to have like dinner together and just have these
Mm-hmm.
conversations. I'm sharing it on social media and women are saying, how
Mm-hmm.
can I become a part of this movement? Which then changed it from being a local thing
Mm-hmm.
to being a online based community because there's women
Mm-hmm.
that want to
Right.
become part of this from everywhere. And so
Mm-hmm.
I did that for a while. But like I said, as I grew and got more clear about the vision
Mm-hmm.
and what I wanted this to look like, it was just like it was almost like a rebirth. Like, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
started this as with my Black Church was a blog, but this is She Wins Society. Like that is where my heart went.
Yes.
My first book was
Yep.
named She Wins, right? So it was just like all roads were kind
Mm-hmm.
of, I think, just leading me there. And then just also just again having that refresh
Mm-hmm.
of I've lived for 5 years, I've been in business for
Right.
5 years, I've learned so many things, and now I just kind of want to do a refresh, like with all this new knowledge that I have. Because when I went into it, I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
anything about
Right.
branding and
Right.
all of these different things, right? Now I've learned these things, so now I just want it to be an expression of my growth. And the second part was that Women by Choice
Mm-hmm.
was really about bringing
Right.
women together. That was really our focus. But I realized in year 5 of me managing Women by Choice and hosting events,
Okay.
I hit extreme burnout.
Mm-hmm.
I hit burnout so bad that I was no longer
Mm.
passionate about doing
And
what
that
I was doing
happens.
anymore. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was like, make it
Mm-hmm.
all stop. Make it all stop. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was living the dream, literally the vision. Like I'm traveling and speaking at
Mm-hmm.
events and I'm hosting all these women for these events and retreats. But like I got to a point
Mm-hmm.
where make
Mm-hmm.
it stop. That's really how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm good. I'm tired. And I just felt like I
Getting
was
back in.
pouring out more
Mm-hmm.
than I was getting back.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my fault, right? Ultimately, that's because I'm running myself to the ground and not taking the time for myself, constantly feeling like I got to be
Mm-hmm.
pouring and serving other people. And so, She When
Okay.
Society was also born from that, me taking that breath,
Mm-hmm.
coming back, and being able to say, there's an element of this that we need to
Mm-hmm.
include about self care, about really taking that time out for self care and personal development so that you can be
Mm-hmm.
a good sister to other women. Because if
Right.
you're not good with yourself, you're not going to be
Look,
good with other
hello,
women.
and that, what, and it happens, and it's just like, and it's like as I'm listening to you talk about this, that overwhelm, it happens. Did you have a team at the time? Because I know you were doing a whole lot by yourself, right? And it's like when you start these platforms, right? Because the thing is, I'm with you 100% on that, because this started out as a blog. This was a blog that started. I
Mm-hmm.
have a whole WordPress website, everything, right? And it started out as a blog basically to provide information to people who want to visit Philadelphia. And next thing I know,
Mm-hmm.
it turned into, from the blog, it ended up going to oh, well, Tyra, now I became a food blogger. And I was going around doing a lot of
Wow.
taste testing and stuff. Then I ended up doing, writing articles for different concerts and events and stuff. Like I was doing media. Girl, let me tell you how I didn't even know I was in media till the other day. I ain't found out I was in media till about 3 or 4 days ago. But that's a whole nother conversation, right?
Oh, wow.
But I see where that happens, right? Because when you are a one woman show within your business and your brand, and you know how you started, right? And you know where it was basically coming from a sign of healing. You were healing yourself, but
Mm-hmm.
while healing yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you started healing the masses, right? And it's just like all of a sudden, like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, wait a minute, where are my people? And it's just like you hear everybody
Mm-hmm.
talking about,
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a team? You got a lawyer, you got an accountant, you got this, you got that, you got this. And it's just like, I don't have none of them people. I'm a one-woman show. That's where the overwhelm, the burnout comes. And look, I know, putting together all of those events can be difficult. And you were doing this. Let me tell y'all, she wasn't just doing this in her city. She was traveling from city to city, right? Around the East Coast, doing these events. And we ain't talk about planning a damn cruise as well, right? We ain't forgot about that part, right? And you was doing all this by yourself. So I know you was burnt out. I know it gets stressful. And on top of that, right, when you look at everything that, we as women go through when we're doing too much, because we the team too much queens, right? And we own it. We own it. But at some point we need to be able to start letting go stuff, even though when it's our babies, we ain't letting our babies go, because if somebody come and mess up our baby, we ready to go for the jugular. You ain't gonna tear up my business, right?
True.
So when you look at that, right, and you look at all of everything that was going on, it's like, okay, now I gotta get back to me. Let me get back to my mission.
Yep.
Let me get back to why I even started this. So I understand why you ended up taking a step back, so that you can get back to feeling like, okay, this is what I need to do so that my organization can get to where it needs to be. And I get my love, because it's easy to lose love. Let me tell y'all, for something when you have done so much. You know what I mean? It's like we talk about, like I send out, oh, happy self-care Saturday. How's the self-care if we, you know what I mean? Like if I'm working and doing, but like, but when we do these platforms and things, right? We start out with one mission and it turns out to be something else, which ends up being an awesome mission, right? But one thing I will say is you learn as you go. You know what I mean? You learn, you grow. We grow through what we go through. And as you are, as you started doing all of this, you was learning and growing all at the same time. But at the same time, it was getting stressful, And then it's just like we're hosting those events in them other cities. I know it was tough trying to find people to trust in them other cities to basically execute. And if you're not monetizing just yet, right? Who am I going to get to back me? So you was doing all this.
Yep.
Girl, please tell me you got a team now.
Yep.
Please tell me you done went and, because the thing is, what I'm getting, because the thing is, we don't all have money to be hiring planners to do stuff, so please tell me, because I know, like, I've seen the growth, because again, I was with Andromeda, with Women by Choice, moved over to She Wins. All right, so got a team now. Oh, all right, feeling a whole lot better.
I will say I'm still very hands-on with my events, only because I do love that part. I do love the planning part. I do love seeing my events come together. I'm very, very hands-on, but I have released a lot of the other things, right, that were on my plate that I didn't necessarily love as much. Like, I mean, you have to think that outside of hosting the events, I'm also managing a community, and I'm also coaching, and I'm also teaching, and I'm just, again, all the things. So, like, now my team, I'm not the only one teaching in my community anymore. I have several instructors and coaches and people who can get to the people and touch the people. So I don't have to do that as much, But yes, absolutely. I have people who help me now, at the actual events. I have people who will help me with setup and all of those things as well. So yes, I absolutely, that was without a doubt a requirement for me going forward, is that I had to have help, and I had to learn how to ask for help. It was I struggled with that. Not just the delegating, because of course, again, it's my baby and I don't want anybody to come in and mess it up. And I had, honestly, if I'll be honest with you, Tyra, in the beginning, when I first jumped out there, I was very, very about having women to come on board and help me with things. And the problem was that I was disappointed a lot in the beginning. But that was also too because you're letting people in for the simple fact that they like the idea of you, right? But when it comes down to actually doing the work or holding themselves accountable for
Mhm.
doing what they say they were going to do, people
Mhm.
fell
Mhm.
short in that. So I didn't really know what necessarily how to vet people and all of those things in
Mhm.
order to determine if they were a good fit for that position.
Mhm.
So I was disappointed a lot of the time when I'm like, people don't, they don't
Mm-mm.
care about your baby like you do, right?
Mhm.
Like they say, I'm gonna do it, but if it doesn't, they don't do it and it falls apart, they're
Right.
not
But you
attached
know,
to that
right.
failure. They
Hmm.
just
But you know
want
what? A
their
lot of
life,
people are not
you
honest
know.
about their scope
But
either.
I had to learn how to ask for help.
A lot of people are not honest about
Say it
their
again.
scope in regards to what they can handle.
True.
And it's like, instead of saying,
True.
this is what I can handle, they're going to come at you and they're going to say, oh, yeah, I want to be a part. Tell me what you want me to do. Instead of saying,
Mm-hmm.
I'm, these are my capabilities, right? Now, I go over all this with my
Mm-hmm.
clients all the time. What are your capabilities? Don't put yourself
Mm-hmm.
out there acting like you can do X, Y, and Z when you know good hell well your ass can't do none of that stuff you said you can do. Because when you think about it, it's like a resume, right?
Right.
People will lie themselves
Right.
to
Right.
the cows come home. They get that position, and what do you see happen? You're like, what the hell is this? You can't do
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing.
Exactly. And that was tough. You got to think. Me coming from a place of, like you said, I'm in the process of healing myself. I'm coming from a place of, I don't deal with
Mm-hmm.
women, to, okay, that's not how we should be. Let me create a space for the women
Mm-hmm.
who are like-minded, like I am, for us to come together. To now, I'm thinking I'm creating the space for these
Mm-hmm.
women, and then I'm being disappointed. Like it was just like,
Mm-hmm.
that
Yes.
was the learning and growing part, right? Because I think that especially with women,
Mm-hmm.
we struggle with this. I think more so with other
Yes.
women than we do men, is we
Mm-hmm.
are disappointed by women, then we ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay, we don't want to
Mm-hmm.
deal with
Right.
none
Right.
of us, right? Like we're all bad,
Right.
forget us
Right.
all forever and ever, you know. And so I had to learn how to, okay,
Mm-hmm.
like that person disappointed me, like move on. And Andromeda, like that's
Right.
not going to be the case for everyone. Everyone's
Right.
not going to disappoint you. And so I had to get past that point of
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, you're gonna have to make a choice between whether you're gonna carry this
Mm-hmm.
disappointment and this distrust
Mm-hmm.
that other people cannot help you, and keep trying to
Right.
carry this on your own, and it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
fail. There is no way you're growing from here, or you're gonna have to get past this
Mm-hmm.
and say you're gonna allow yourself to trust other people. And if
Mm-hmm.
they do disappoint you, that's still
Right.
okay.
But
Find
like I
someone
tell
else
people,
and keep
like
it
I
moving.
tell my business clients, because I've been doing, business therapy with clients. And one thing I tell people is, when you are in a position, right, where somebody does let you down and disappoint you, be okay with being able to remove them from whatever capabilities you have them doing, right? But also always keep in the back of your mind, you ain't got to forget what they did, right? To know that, okay, when this individual
Mm-hmm.
offers, or no, I'm good, and being okay with saying I'm okay with you not being a part of it,
Yeah.
because the thing is, people will
Mm-hmm.
continuously let you down, but we can't let them impact our businesses, because if we let them impact our businesses, our shit will be closed quick. And look, and my thing is,
Okay,
that's the thing,
listen.
y'all know I'm the anger doctor, so it's like, my thing is all about that control thing, right? I'm not going to let you folks control
Mm-hmm.
what I've built. You know what I mean? You built your brand.
Right.
You built this. I
Mm-hmm.
can't let other people dictate and control how I handle it. You know, you don't
Absolutely.
have that much. Y'all don't have that much
Absolutely.
stake in what I'm doing.
Mm.
Hmm.
And again, for me, it
Hmm.
took a little while to get there, because
Hmm.
I mean, I started
Hmm.
at 28, and
Hmm.
again, still just not
Okay.
being naive about a lot of things, not knowing this is my
Hmm.
first go
Hmm.
at entrepreneurship. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is my first go at a lot of things, and I can tell you there were definitely moments where either one or two things
Hmm.
happened, where like I saw something happen, somebody did something disappoint me, or
Hmm.
I had a negative interaction with another
Hmm.
woman, and it might have shut me down for a minute, like
Hmm.
really shut me down for a minute, made me
Hmm.
feel like
Hmm.
I'm good, I don't want to do this anymore. And then I would have those moments where I'd be like, I
Hmm.
see it, and I'd be like, okay, whatever, and I keep going. But um for the most part, I
Hmm.
have had to overcome that, again, that wanting to shut down or wanting to give
Mhm.
up because you have a
Mhm.
bad day or a negative interaction with
Mhm.
someone else, especially again with what I do, it's like, okay, now
Mhm.
sis, like
Mhm.
I'm building this for us. Like I'm trying to create something
But you know
positive. Please
what?
don't come at me
It's so,
sideways. Like that is
but it's so
not
hard,
helpful.
I'll be completely transparent. It's hard sometimes because we, when we building our brands and doing certain things, right? It's hard to not internalize what's happening. You know what I mean? And it's just like you definitely have to put your, change your mental space, right? Change your mindset, lose the stinking thinking, and don't lose the sight of what
Yeah.
your mission is, right? And granted, anything we do, we gonna always get that one individual who is a naysayer, one who will come through and to try to disrupt your world. And and unfortunately, right, when we're on social media, they use this as their playground, right? I call it the devil's playground because they get on here and they keyboard gangster their way into all kinds of nonsense. And my thing is, I will remove your comment, block you, and do everything else that I can possibly can because you're not going to tarnish my brand you know and that's
Come
something
on.
that we have
I
to
know.
definitely implement a lot more because these people out here they will
Yeah.
do things, and we have to keep ourselves as positive as we can to not allow the enemy in
Yeah.
to try to dictate what well, this is what I think she wins. No, well, whatever you think she wins should be she wins is not what you
Come
want.
on.
Damn it, you ain't got no stake up over here. This is what I want, this is what I'm doing, and it is what it is. And it's just like when situations like that occur, one tool that I use is I always jump into a scripture and I jump into a positive affirmation, so that I can understand and know the reason why I do it. Girl, I could go on for days telling you about how many people have approached me about wanting to take this platform, and I'm like, why? You ain't been doing something like that. Like, why you want to start now? But I'm just like, whatever. And I just ignore, I ignore them. As many text messages I get, I ignore all of them. Okay, because we can't do it. My
Mm-hmm.
thing is, it's always going to be people that's going to try
Mm-hmm.
to swoop in, but keep your head, keep your head up, keep wearing that crown, girl. Keep
Yes.
wearing that crown,
Yes.
keep it
Yes.
positive, and do what you gotta do, right? Because at the end of the day, She Wins
That's
Society
good.
is an amazing organization. And I was looking online, I was like, let me see how many followers Andromeda done got up to, right? I said, good, girl, you over 4,000, probably more than that. But they probably got more than that, and that was on Facebook. I didn't even look on Instagram or whatever. How does that make
Mm-hmm.
you feel? Having all these individuals like yes, all these women supporters, where people say people don't support people, they support
Mm-hmm.
the
Right.
lies they tell. They either supporting or they being nosy, trying to see what they can do.
Right. Right. I'm grateful. Truly, I am grateful. I think that I am more
Mm-hmm.
grateful
Okay.
today than I
Mm-hmm.
ever was for that. Again, along my journey, there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times where I was doing and I'm walking in my purpose and I'm seizing
Mm-hmm.
the opportunities that God gives me and I'm
Mm-hmm.
working to manifest the visions that He gives me, but not always
Mm-hmm.
acknowledging the magnitude of what I'm doing and
Mm-hmm.
the number of people that I'm impacting. And I think that this pause that I kind of took for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still always was
You was moving in
moving,
silence.
but
You was moving in.
moving in silence
Mm-hmm.
and with smaller groups of people. But that really allowed me
Mm-hmm.
to really take a step back and look at like what I had accomplished. Like I can't, it almost seems like, again, I was doing, but it was always like, what's the next thing? I never
Mm-hmm.
took enough time to really sit in the fact that like you just accomplished this amazing thing and that like people would tell me like Andromeda, I appreciate your
Mm-hmm.
message and I would hear it, but I
Mm.
wouldn't receive it. And so now I'm at a place where it's like I can see it, I can receive it. I mean fully. Like when a woman messages me anything and tells me she was so happy to
Mm-hmm.
meet me or how it impacted her life, like I take the
Listen.
time to
Mm-hmm.
really sit in that and
Mm-hmm.
let it impact me the way God intended. Because I think that was part of my
Mm-hmm.
burnout too. Is again when you're thinking about okay, my cup's not being refilled, but there were so many things
Right.
that could have refilled my
Mm-hmm.
cup, but I wasn't allowing it to because I'm so focused on again the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, and I'm not basking enough in the fact that like, girl,
Mm-hmm.
like look at your life. Like, look at how many people you're impacting. Look at how many people
Mm-hmm.
value what you bring to the table. Like, you have to appreciate that. So, I am grateful for every
Mm-hmm.
single woman who has clicked that follow button, every single woman who takes the time to
Mm-hmm.
comment on posts, to DM me and let me know that I've impacted them, to buy a ticket to an event. Like, I am truly,
Mm-hmm.
truly aware of how
Mm-hmm.
powerful and amazing
Yes.
that is
I
and
mean,
grateful.
again, like I told you, I loved everything that, you're about, everything that you were doing. And when you look at, the 3 years pause, it was at the same time the world was pausing too. You know what I mean? So it was just like,
Mm-hmm.
and during that time, it allowed people, because at the end of the day, when I look at what happened the past 3 years, this has been the ultimate pause. And that's what I'm calling it. Is
Yeah.
pick up after the pause, and that's what we doing. You know what I mean? And it's just like, and now when you you come back bigger, you come back better than
Mm-hmm.
ever, and doing
Mm-hmm.
what you need to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that you can continue
Mm-hmm.
on this journey, on this entrepreneurial journey. And everybody know it takes
Mm-hmm.
time. It takes time to do all of this. And it's just like, and people, anybody that
Mm-hmm.
would say, starting a organization, starting a membership organization is easy. It's not easy. It's not easy by no means, and I'm sure. Did you do your master class on that yet, girl? Okay, so I just spoke it
I
into
have
existence
not.
for you, and you take your time with that, get your course together, okay? Because that's
Okay.
definitely something that like I feel in my spirit, that's something that you can do. You know what I mean? Because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, people need
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
understand, how to do these things. It's like people out there putting out information, but they're
Yeah.
not putting it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's not authentic, but I'm saying some of this information that they putting out, they making it like it's 1, 2, 3 step, and you're in there, and you have all these individuals following you, and everybody. No, it ain't like that. It's a
It's
whole
not.
it's a whole
No, it's
journey,
not.
and
It's
people need to understand what
mm-hmm.
the processes is. And I know, because I know you're going to put it out there where it's actually going to be, people are going to receive the message. And
Mm-hmm.
I was listening, when you were just
Mm-hmm.
talking about, hearing what people were saying. We hear stuff, but what we really need to do so that we can process is listen. you know and I know sometimes our
Mm-hmm.
messages come from people that we like, should I even be listening to you? But but at the same time,
Right.
we definitely have to say, okay, let me take a step back. Let me
Mm-hmm.
listen, so this way I can process and be able to understand. And sometimes when we overwhelmed and we stressed out, we ain't listening to nothing. Ain't nothing you saying making sense. And that's the attitude, whether we say
Right.
it out loud or keep it to ourselves. We are not doing all that. I don't want to hear nothing you gotta say. It makes absolutely no sense to me. But once you was able to sit down and process, girl, you came out strong.
Mm-hmm.
You came out super
Thank
strong.
you, sis.
So we're gonna get into talking about what you want to talk about first. Your books? Because I know you have 2 books out. All right, so because I have
Yeah.
one of the books. So tell
Mhm.
us about the books
Yeah.
that you have out now, and where we can purchase them. And then we're going. Mm-hmm,
Yes, absolutely. So my first
mm-hmm,
was She Wins. And that is a book that's really about, it's inspiring and it's empowering and it's really talking about a lot of the things that I
mm-hmm,
was talking about when I first began, like the choices that you should make as a woman in order
mm-hmm,
to live a good
mm-hmm,
life, but more than anything, the choices that you should make
mm-hmm,
when it comes to other women, like how we should interact with one another in order to ensure
mm-hmm.
that
Right.
we are winning together. Um, my second book is She Wins. Again,
Mm-hmm,
I actually have that sitting right here. So my first book was published in 2016. This one was
mm-hmm,
published last year. And this is She Wins Again. So it's more life transforming inspiration to get your mind right and win in life. And this book is really about
mm-hmm,
the journey that I
mm-hmm,
took. from that first book, right? All of the new wisdom that I've gained, the new knowledge that I've gained about
Mm-hmm.
the importance of self-care and the importance of practicing integrity in all the things that you do, and the
Mm-hmm.
importance of playing fair, like not worrying about who looks like they are, elevating quicker
Mm.
regardless of what they're doing, making sure that you're living the way you need to be living, because
Right.
it all comes back no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
um and really just getting to that
Yes.
point of self-love too, like not comparing yourself to other people, being patient, right? Like we don't talk about that enough, the importance of
Yes.
practicing patience. I was just getting ready to write something today, like nothing grows out of season and you can't rush God's timing, no matter how
Mm-hmm.
much you might want to do that. And so learning how to just practice patience, like
Mm-hmm.
sow your seeds, do your work, and
Mm-hmm.
trust the process.
Mm-hmm.
It's all going to work out when it's
Mm-hmm.
meant to work out, you know? And so and accepting what you
Girl.
can't change. I think again, these are
Mm-hmm.
also really important lessons that I think many of
Yes.
us learned through the pandemic, right? Because I say all the time, if 2020 taught
Mm-hmm.
us nothing at all, it definitely taught us
That's
that
right.
we are not in control. So many of us
Mm-hmm.
walked into 2020 with an idea of what the world was
Mm-hmm.
going to look like and what our plans were and what we were going to
Mm-hmm.
do, and then boom, we were put in a position where like,
Mm-hmm.
nah,
Mm-hmm.
you're not doing none of that, like none of
Mm-hmm.
that's happening, go sit down somewhere, you know. And so just again learning to get that acceptance, I found
Mm-hmm.
so much peace in
Mm-hmm.
accepting what I can't change. Like I tell
Mm-hmm.
myself and my clients every day, you have one job every day, and that's to get up and
That's
do the
right.
best you can with everything you have. That's
Mm-hmm.
making one conscious choice at a time, not literally moment by moment, not day by day. Every moment that you're faced with a choice, making a
Mm-hmm.
conscious decision to do the best that you can. And then
That's
that's all you can do.
yeah.
There is nothing more that you can do after that. You know, so accepting what you can't change, surrendering what you can't control. But yeah,
Okay.
that's what this one is really about, like living a
Yes.
healthy, happy life for sure. And then yeah, so they can
Okay.
you can find both my
All
books on
right. So Love and
Amazon.com.
His World says, I need this for my girls group. There is such a disconnect between them and building sisterhood. I believe it. I believe
Ooh.
it because the thing is, a lot of these girls, they're taught from whether relationships by their parents, they're taught by things that they see at school that that there can't be a sisterhood. And it's just like
Mm-hmm.
now it's like when I look at a lot of the fate of the teenage female, it's like now being able to educate them and tell them about what sisterhood is, and letting them know that it does
Mm-hmm.
exist. you know it's you just
Mm-hmm.
got to be open
Mm-hmm.
and honest and authentic and willing to bring them into and let them understand. Sometimes you might not find sisterhood with your own sister, but you might find it with a friend. You know.
That's true.
Mhm.
And that's the part too, Tyra, is sisterhood really is, it's
Mhm.
a collective mindset. Everybody who's a part
Right.
of it has to believe that it's
Mhm.
possible. There is no sisterhood if you
Right.
have somebody in there who doesn't believe in sisterhood. Like everybody here has
Mhm.
to be all
Mhm.
in. It's like a marriage, you know what I mean? Like we have to,
Right.
you're my sister and I recognize that, and I'm going to be thoughtful
Mhm.
of you, and I'm going to be
Mhm.
reciprocate the love and support that you give, and we're going to build together, and we're going to grow
Mhm.
together, and we're going to be compassionate and respectful of one another. Like that has to be a choice. Anybody who is you can't force someone
Look,
into
say that
sisterhood.
again.
That's what I have learned all the years that I've done this. No
Mhm.
matter how positive it sounds and how good it looks, you cannot
Right.
force anyone into sisterhood. Like you can't force
Mhm.
anyone into marriage. Like a
Mhm.
person has to be committed to that thing. They have to believe that
Mhm.
it's possible, believe that it's good for them, believe that
Mhm.
1 + 1
Mhm.
is equal, 1 = 2, meaning we're
Right.
going to come in this together and we're going to create something better together. But there is a huge disconnect, I just think, in people in
Girl.
general these days. Like
Mm.
there's just a disconnect.
You right.
Like and like people are just not like connecting in the way that we should. I mean, even if you think about how often do you just like walk
Mhm.
past your neighbor and nobody speaks? You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
people are not
Because
intentionally
they like
connecting
this.
with one another and
They got
realizing the
this.
power of our
And it's
connection.
like they looking at that all the
Yeah.
time. And it's just like when you think about all of the times that you go out to eat to a restaurant or something, right? And you see a whole family sitting down, how many of them are actually talking to each other? They're all sitting there with these in their
Right.
hands and nobody is communicating. And that, when you think about
Mm-hmm.
that, that's like the biggest problem that we all have is those devices. Like when
Yeah.
I think about growing up,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm yesteryears, proud to be 50 now, right? But I think
Mm-hmm.
about back then, we didn't have all that. So you ain't have, well, we was forced to talk to the
Mm-hmm.
people, whether we wanted to talk to them or not, you know?
Right.
But at the end of the
Right.
day, it's
Right.
just like when I look at the productivity of all of us, right? And how we all turned out, we turned out great. You we turned
I
out
think so
great. And
too.
I think as far as
Mm-hmm.
adapting to this whole cell phone society, right? We have adapted pretty good. Now some people be like, no, I'm not using it. I'm not doing this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, I
Mm-hmm.
think we adapted pretty good. Soul Solution says definitely agree. Both parties have to be invested in a relationship in order for it to work. Yeah, and that's a relationship, that's a sisterhood, that's everything. That's everything as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so,
Yeah,
yeah, so let's get
it
into
is.
talking about these events. I tagged one at the bottom. We have Stepping into Sisterhood in Orlando, Florida, March the 25th.
Yes.
Woohoo! So tell us
Yes. Yes.
about that. And I
Yes.
know you have a Bahamas trip, a Bahamas retreat in May, and then you
Yes.
have the cruise in August. I'm
Yes.
all
Girl,
up
you
in your
all up in my
business, girl. Look,
business.
I'm all up in
Okay.
your business. You don't think you was gonna come on here and we not gonna talk about this stuff and think I'm not gonna do my homework. I always do my homework, but I knew about all these events coming up because I'm still on the newsletter, so I knew everything that
Yes.
was coming through, and that's why I said she got all this stuff coming on. I was like, let me reach out to Andromeda, get her on here so we could talk about this.
Thank you. I so appreciate it. So, yes, Stepping into Sisterhood Orlando is coming up March 25th in
Mm-hmm.
Orlando, Florida, obviously. I'm so excited about this. Again, just thinking about the pause we've been on for the last 3 years, although we have hosted
Mm-hmm.
intimate members only retreats since the
Mm-hmm.
end
Mm-hmm.
of 2020, I believe. We have not been hosting
Right.
any in-person events. So whereas like Tyra was saying, we was hosting Stepping in Sisterhood across the country.
Mm-hmm.
We was hosting it in Atlanta, in New York, in Canton, Ohio. Our last one was in Los
Mm-hmm.
Angeles, California. So we were making our way to the West Coast and then the pandemic hit. So this is really
Mm-hmm.
special because we're back, right? We're back after 3 years hosting Stepping into Sister Orlando in actually the same venue that we first hosted it in ever in Orlando, Florida, which is it
That's
just feels so nostalgic and just
getting the idea that they
I don't know, I'm
survived the
just so
pandemic,
excited
so
about
that was
it.
good. They survived it.
Yes, right. And to be able to see some of the women who
Mm-hmm.
were there in 2016 going to be there in 2023, and some of those women were in the audience, but they're now
Wow.
going to be speakers. So it's just a beautiful, yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Stepping in Sisterhood, I say it's not just a networking
Mm-hmm.
women's empowerment
Okay.
event; it's a celebration of women of color coming together. The word that God gave me
Mm-hmm.
this year is connections, and so the theme for Stepping in Sisterhood Orlando is cultivating connections. That is what we are
Mm-hmm.
all about this year, is really creating these spaces
Mm-hmm.
for women to connect in a genuine, authentic way, to have these very real
Mm-hmm.
conversations like we're having right now. Like, I am so above and beyond the fluff and the hustle till you die and
Mm-hmm.
the, oh, you just do
Right.
this, then this will happen. Like, we want to have the real conversations about what the
Mm-hmm.
process really looks like, and to help women to understand,
Right.
like, you are not alone in your struggles. Like, sis, we
Mm-hmm.
all struggling with something, okay? Like, let's just get real. You might be good in over here, but
Right.
something over here is you need to work on. And so we're just going to create
Mm-hmm.
space for that. So we have 3 panels. The first one is
Mm.
finding and attracting your tribe. The second one is
Mm-hmm.
cultivating wealth building connections. And the
Okay.
third one is building an impactful community. So we're going to have 3 panels. You're going to have a beautiful lunch. I'm
Mm-hmm.
all about all things girly and elegant. So it's going to be a beautiful plated lunch with a champagne toast at the end, these great speakers, and just an awesome afternoon of positivity and real, honest conversation that allows women to relate to one another and connect with one another
Okay.
on a very real and deep level. Um,
And I know it's going to be a stellar
and
event because I know,
then
you know, I know how your events are because I've been in the past. So I know what it's, I know coming out of our great pause, I know this is going to be awesome. I know it's going to be, look, I know it's going to be awesome.
yes.
I know it's going to be
I
awesome.
was so
So the
excited about it.
retreat in May, tell me about that. What is going on with the May retreat?
Okay, so the May retreat is it's that's
Mm-hmm.
actually a members only retreat. We are
Okay.
flying to the Bahamas. So this is our first time ever flying to the Bahamas. Our first I
Mm-hmm.
would call it a real international retreat because usually I mean the
It's
cruise
different.
is
Right. It's
international,
different.
but you know you're on a cruise. But we're flying
Mm-hmm.
to Nassau, Bahamas. We have a beautiful, beautiful villa that is booked there, and this is more of an intimate retreat. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a few women who are coming together, and we're gonna just
Okay.
focus on self-care and again building
Mm-hmm.
relationships with our sisters who are part
Okay.
of the She Wins Society
Mm-hmm.
community, relaxing, and again learning. We're gonna have like some
Mm-hmm.
mindset classes, some yoga classes. So really just getting away, taking time for ourselves, refilling our cups, and building
Okay.
stronger
Good morning,
connections with our
everyone. Thank y'all
sisters.
for joining in. This is Andromeda Raheem of She Wins Society. Make sure all of you are following her. She has some amazing things. We're talking about some of the events that she has coming up now. Y'all done missed half the interview, or all the interview pretty much. But we talking about the events now that she is hosting with the She Wins Society. So, all right, so that Bahamas retreat sounds really nice. True, sound like should be doing something, but girl,
Come on, sis. We actually
bitch,
have one
really,
spot that opened up. We just had one
girl.
spot that opened up. Yeah. So
All right,
come
now
on, girl.
August, talk about your cruise, the She Wins Society cruise. I want to call it the annual, right? Because believe it or not,
Annual.
this has been going on for some years. It's just we had a pause, right? But you did it during the pause. Wait a minute, the
No.
2020. Didn't you do 2020? 2019, 19. It was
No,
on the
we
schedule.
tried.
So
It
the
was on the
last one was
schedule,
19.
but then we had to shut
Okay.
it down.
Okay.
19
Okay.
was the last
Okay.
one.
I
Yeah.
look.
And then they did
What you
start cruising, I think,
say? You
last
say
year,
I'll
but
take
I
a
wasn't
step
ready
back
yet.
and I'll see how y'all do first, and then I'll.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, exactly. I had a few friends that went on cruises and came
It's
back, and
all
it was like,
good. It's
okay,
all
okay,
good. But
cool. It's all good. It's all
right,
good. Y'all
right.
go and come back and let me know. So, yes, we're back. The sixth annual Relax, Relate, Release Cruise Retreat is back. Oh my God. Like, I'm excited about everything this year, but that is truly like, that event
Mm-hmm.
always feels like a family reunion. This is our
Yes.
largest event of
Mm-hmm.
the year. This is, we bring, this is the one that's open to all women
Mm-hmm.
from anywhere to come and
Mm-hmm.
join us for this retreat. We have a conference on this retreat. This
Mm-hmm.
year's theme is Worthy and Winning, which is very near and dear to my heart because in these last few years, just I've had to face some really
Mm-hmm.
difficult challenges in life,
Okay.
challenges that made me question my worth. And I had to come to a place where I realized like just different outcomes, right? Sometimes we attach our worth
Right.
to we tried something and it failed. Now we're not worthy, or we're not receiving the validation
Mm-hmm.
that we think we deserve from certain people, or the acceptance that we
Mm-hmm.
desire from certain communities, or
Right.
something
Mm-hmm.
just happens to us, right? Like for me, I
Mm-hmm.
experienced an ectopic
Mm-hmm.
pregnancy at 35 years
Mm-hmm.
old, and I don't have any children yet. And so that made me feel like, well, why did that happen to me? I
Mm-hmm.
must not be good enough. And so I really wanted to create this space for women
Mm-hmm.
because I know I'm not the only one who has struggled with self-doubt
Mm-hmm.
or insecurity or lack of
Mm-hmm.
confidence or feeling unworthy
Right.
due to their life experiences. And so our conference and our activities are all going to be about helping you to boost your confidence,
Mm-hmm.
know that you are that girl, not when you lose the weight, when
Right.
you get the man, when you have the baby, when your business is
Mm-hmm.
successful. Like you are that girl right
Right.
now. You are worthy right now. And you are going to gain sisters that are going to help you to be reminded of that as
Mm-hmm.
long as you want them to be there. Okay. So that's the goal for this retreat, is just
Mm-hmm.
really pouring into ourselves. I started this live saying how I know what burnout feels like. I know that we don't take enough time. I posed the question in my community: when is the last time that you took time to refill your cup
Woo,
until it
girl, that's a big
overflowed?
question.
Right? When is the last time you did
I'm a
that? Right? Because we
woo.
might plug our battery in for a few minutes to get a little extra charge. But when is the last time you refilled your cup till it
Mm-hmm.
overflowed? Most of us
Girl,
can't
I'm gonna
answer that
answer it right
question.
now. I
Most of
haven't.
us don't know.
I've been on go mode for a long time. I've been on go mode. Like I took time to do things, but it was just like I'm gonna be completely transparent right now, right? Answering your question. When I did things during the pandemic in regards to traveling and stuff like that, I only did it based off of, let me see, number one, what making it make sense. That's number one. And then number two, I
Mm-hmm.
had to have some business tied to it. You know what I mean? So as far
Mm-hmm.
as just going and
Mm-hmm.
kicking my feet up, like I was in Florida a number of times. I, was relaxing and doing what I do, but it was I did business first and then I hung out. But it was not a
Mm-hmm.
whole recharge for myself. So I'm gonna say, hell no, I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I know I need to
Mm-hmm.
probably take I know not probably, I do need to
Mm-hmm.
take time for me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and we know being entrepreneurs, that's hard. That's hard as hell.
It
Because
is
the
hard.
thing is, we know that if we not working, we not getting paid. If we not getting paid, our bills not getting paid. And it's just like our mindset gets distorted. But one thing we have to do is we have to sit back
Mm-hmm.
and create that, how we do that content calendar for our social media and all that. I guess, at this
Mm-hmm.
point in life, we need to create a content calendar for our own self well-being so that we know to
Mm-hmm.
unplug.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But how about this though, sis? Because you said that
Mm-hmm.
you say affirmations, right? Is one of your affirmations something like, I am a money magnet and I attract
Girl,
money
yes,
easily and
you know it is.
effortlessly? Have you ever said that? But see, that doesn't align though with this idea
No,
that
it
we always
don't.
have to be working.
Because if I was a money magnet, I wouldn't be worrying about working. You know?
Okay.
Right. You
You
would
make the
make the
money
money
while
while
you're
you resting,
resting.
making the money while you sleep, but the thing is like we're saying that, right? We're constantly saying that, now that we're getting in deep talking about that, it's like I say it, but it's just like I'm thinking more of I have to be working it in order for it to
Mm-hmm.
attract to me. I have to be putting myself out there
Mm-hmm.
for it
Mm-hmm.
to leech on, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But when we really think
Mm-hmm.
in depth with that, it's like now, it's putting me in a different mindset. Girl, come
Mm-hmm.
on through this morning. Because now you got me, look, now you got me like, shit, now I got to be writing this stuff. No, but you know what? Look, girl, the bottom line is when it comes to the affirmations, which you just proved to me 2 seconds ago, is when we speak those affirmations, we need to speak them and believe them. Believe what we're
Leave
saying
them.
to ourselves. Because when we be saying this stuff all the time, we ain't believing it. We call
Mm-hmm.
ourselves
Mm-hmm.
manifesting, but we're really not manifesting the way we
Mm-hmm.
should. Now when I manifest about
Mm-hmm.
peace and
Mm-hmm.
happiness, now I'm doing it. You know, but that affirmation I have
Mm-hmm.
said numerous times, but at the end of the day, it's not one that I say daily, but I've said it like maybe once a week, twice a week,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
now it's like
Mm-hmm.
this, now we having this conversation about now it's like now I'm thinking more
Mm-hmm.
of being more intentional. So thank you, Andromeda,
Yeah.
for bringing me into my intention,
Yeah.
girl. Look, on this Saturday, March the 4th morning, girl. You know, we all a
You're
work in
welcome.
progress, and I think we all
Mm-hmm.
say things that we think
Oh yeah.
sound good. It sound good, but if we ain't doing it, what kind of help that is?
Yeah.
Look, she done showed
Yeah.
y'all her master life coach stuff on me, y'all, this morning. So now y'all see why she a master life coach.
Oh goodness. Yeah. Trust me, I have to practice it too. I have to remind myself of that too. real quick testimony, just even
Mhm.
recently, because I have all these events coming up at once, and I started to
Mhm.
kind of feel myself getting overwhelmed and a little
Mhm.
anxious. And again, I'm working,
Mhm.
Tyra. I'm doing all the things, and a lot of times we just thought, okay, well, I put in the work,
Right.
so you
Right.
want to see the result right away, right? Like I'm working, so
Uh-huh.
an outcome needs to be attached to this. And the amount of work I was putting in
Mhm.
wasn't matching up to the amount of
Mhm.
result I was receiving at the
Mhm.
moment. So I started to get frustrated, right? And so I said to myself, Andromeda, you
Mhm.
haven't worked out in about a week. You
Mhm.
have not really been pouring into yourself. You are about
Mhm.
to hit burnout real
Right.
soon if you don't pause, right?
Mhm.
And so I felt it hurt, it clear in my spirit. God was like,
Mhm.
unplug, get off this computer,
Mhm.
stop all the
Mhm.
things, go work out, go pour into yourself. And girl, that's exactly what I did. I went and did some yoga. I
Mhm.
went and took like a
Mhm.
3 mile walk. Why, sis, when I came back
Mhm.
and checked my phone full of orders, all the things that I'm frustrated about, it was
Wow.
like that was the breakthrough. Was go
Mhm.
and take care of yourself, because we say these things. I track money
Mhm.
easily and
Mhm.
effortlessly. I'm making money in my sleep. I truly don't believe that God created us to just be
Right.
killing ourselves to do things. I don't even think He wants us to believe
Right.
that that's possible and that's what we should be doing. And so that it was just, again, another one of those
Mhm.
reminders and confirmations that you can take time for yourself
Mhm.
and still get the things like we talked about. You're not going to, nothing grows out of
Right.
season, and you're not going to rush God's timing. So yeah, you can keep working and tapping at
Mhm.
it. You can plant the seed in the soil and keep
Mhm.
watching it and keep watering and keep messing with it. It's still not
Right.
blossoming any
Right.
faster than it's going to blossom. So go take care of yourself. Go get some
Mhm.
rest. Go pour into yourself. It's okay. And in due time, that work that you've put in
Mhm.
is going to manifest something. And we have to be able to
Mhm.
trust that we can take our hands off and it's
Yes.
still going to grow.
Mhm.
It's okay.
Look, you are 100% right with that. You are 100% right with that, and it's saying it and believing it, saying it and
Mm-hmm,
believing it.
mm-hmm,
You know, and once you say it, you believe it,
mm-hmm,
it happens. You know, as I'm a
mm-hmm.
firm believer of speaking
True.
things into existence. And if you don't want it to happen, don't
Mm-hmm,
talk about it. Okay?
mm-hmm.
Because sometimes
Okay.
we put
Real
stuff
talk.
out there and you just shake your head like, are you serious right now? And then you be like, oh my goodness, I
Mm-hmm,
really didn't want it. So what the hell
mm-hmm.
you asked for it for? You should have kept your mouth shut. I can't even
Exactly.
go into how many people I said that. Keep your mouth shut if you didn't want it. Let me tell you, I had somebody I know was like, I don't want to work no more. I just want to be home. I'm sick and tired. You put that shit in the air. Well, honey, it happened. They got fired, right? Put it in the air and was just like, I don't know why this happened to me. You said it out
You
loud. You
said
wanted it.
it.
This is
You
what you
spoke it.
wanted. You got what you wanted.
Mm-hmm,
So don't come
mm-hmm,
at us with this
mm-hmm,
nonsense. You got it. You wanted it.
mm-hmm. You gotta be
Right,
very
right,
intentional
right.
about your words, right? If you say I don't want
Then
to
what you
work
want to do
anymore, be
next?
clear about what you do want to do, right?
Don't
Instead, don't even say that I don't.
exactly.
Say I want to.
Yeah, that's
I would rather. I
take that B
prefer.
word
But do
out your mouth.
not. Yeah,
Mm,
I've learned that too, sis. I have definitely learned. Be
yes,
careful
I
what
mean,
you
because
say,
you just
cause
never know what happens, you know. And you look up, and this is like,
true,
you know, so
right?
look. But this was
It's true.
awesome,
It's true.
Andromeda. I'm so,
Yes, I'm
I
so
know,
happy
I
we got to
miss all
talk.
y'all. I'm like, I see everybody online. Everybody's doing amazing things. When I think about, the folks that started out in the very beginning, like when I look at all of the folks out of
Mm-hmm.
New York, Natalie, Shamar, Jamie, and I see all of the
Mm-hmm.
amazing things that all these
Mm-hmm.
women are doing. Tony, and all of us that was on the cruise
Yes.
together. I mean, it's just like I'm like so proud. It's like my heart is just overjoyed with all of the connections that we've all made and all of the greatness that's bestowed upon all of us. And now we're all shining our lights and doing what we got to do. And when I look at that, right, when I look at all of this, that community all came together because of who? You. You brought all these amazing women
Thank you,
together
sis.
from all different walks of life. And it was just like, people, you get your support from folks, and and sometimes you don't know where it's going to lead, right? With the people that we choose, because it's a choice who you have in your life, right? But it's just like, and we
Mhm.
don't know what the next move is going to be, but we just hope and we pray that everything goes smooth. And when I tell you, when I look at
Mhm.
everything that you have done with this platform, everything has gone smooth. You took some time off,
Okay.
which was fine. Get back to you,
Mhm.
and when you start to feel
Mhm.
overwhelmed, you reach out. Don't take
Mhm.
it all on by yourself. Reach out. Tell people I
Yeah.
need to stand back and scream. Okay, I need to scream.
Yeah.
I'm the scream person. I tell people, look, you can scream. I got punching bags. Tell me what you need. I get it to you, but we need you to be 100%. So that you could be fulfilled. Everything else can come later, because you just got to remember
Yeah.
that you come first. Only one you.
Listen, I've
Yep.
learned the hard way, sis. And I have that better. Speaking
Mhm.
of Natalie, I love you brought her up. That is my girl. And that's the one of the people that I will reach out to. She'll
Mhm.
ask me like, "Are you okay? Are you doing good?" And I'll be like,
Mhm.
"Girl, let me tell you, I'm
Mhm.
fighting my flesh today." you know. But and I'm proud of myself even to get to that point, because it used to be
Mhm.
just like, I'm good, I'm fine, and I would never
Mhm.
get past the I'm fine but, or I'm okay but, just I'm good. Like, it's such a blessing to have spaces where you can tell people like,
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
actually not
because you
that
know
great
what,
today.
because we
Like,
all basically we are taught to not tell people everything, and because we're told
yeah.
to not tell people everything, we keep all those emotions bottled in. And it's just like, one thing that we learned
Mm-hmm.
is, no, we need to start letting it out. We need to start sharing our feelings, sharing our emotions,
Mm-hmm.
and telling people exactly what it is, and being okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everybody
Mm-hmm.
don't need all that information, so we got to give that sparingly, and
No, not
being wise, because yeah,
everybody.
some people come with the ratchet, and we know this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I mean, I look,
Oh, yes, we
on this
do.
platform, we call a spade over here, and it's like, I, try to
Mm-hmm.
create safe spaces so people can come over, talk about their business, talk about their organization, talk about their books, anything, so that, I want everybody to know and be aware of all of the amazing things that's out there, so I'll be selective. Now I've been a lot selective with my platform, girl.
I love it. And I love it. I love it when a woman can get to that point where she can realize that that is totally and perfectly
Hmm.
okay. Everybody
Child, no, they
doesn't
better go
need a
build
seat
their
at the
own somewhere
table.
else, because some of them tables, let me tell you, chairs be breaking and shit. We don't need all that. And we don't need all that, because we know what it is, And it was just like, I had a discussion with
Mhm.
somebody last week, and the person said to me, she has a seat at the table that she wanted to have a seat at this one particular table, right? And I had to look at her when she said that. Everybody looked at her
Mhm.
and was like astonished. Now, I wasn't in the room with everybody that looked like us. I was in the room with people that looked like everybody
Mhm.
else. And the people that looked like everybody else
Mm.
was all looking like, really? And so I said to the person, I don't care who you are. I'm as real as they come. I said to her, I said, at what
I
cost?
know that's right.
At what cost? Soon as I said that,
Mm.
Andromeda, what do you think happened? Everything that's wrong
Everybody else.
started coming out. And everybody sat there, and the one lady said to me, she said, Tyra, I don't know if you were a therapist. She said, you a therapist, I know this, but I don't know if you trying to do business consult, if you business doing today, or if we doing psychotherapy. Which one we doing? I said, I ain't doing nothing. I came to drink and have a good time. I didn't come for this. I came to have fun. I said, and now I gotta be, but the thing is, people want seats at tables, but they don't know what cost. At what cost? At what
Listen.
cost?
Listen. Mm.
That's a whole
Tyrus. Ooh, that's a
conversation
topic,
within
girl. I could
itself.
go.
Look, that's
Ooh.
another live. We're gonna have to probably put, hey, Rocky, how you doing? Look, it's
Yes. I lost myself sitting at some of the wrong tables.
girl,
That was part of me
girl.
getting burnt out too.
Woo!
Sitting
Look,
at the
that's a
wrong
whole nother
tables.
discussion. Look, I'm gonna have to put a panel. Look, I'm gonna have to put a
It is.
panel discussion together, and we're gonna have to have a whole, and I'm gonna have to have you on the panel. We're gonna have to do this. we're gonna have to do this. I don't know if
Listen,
I
I'm
should do this
down.
live
I'm
or if I
down.
should do this on virtual. Lakeisha, I know you inside here. We gonna have to talk about this. Which way we going with this? Lakeisha Mosley is my girl because we got our event coming up in 2 weeks,
Oh,
which is so the Restore Her
I
conference.
love
Let me
it.
tell y'all, we gonna have to have these we gotta have all these conversations. So yes, sitting at the wrong daggone table. That is a whole discussion, but oh my goodness, whole discussion. But this was awesome, Andromeda. I am so proud of you. And I'm so happy for everything. And it's so funny because I was going to ask you what your word for 2023 was, but you already gave it. Connections, connection, and cultivating connections.
Connection.
And I'm so happy because you gave the explanation and
Yeah.
everything. Look, for those who are just joining us, if y'all missed it, y'all can watch the replay. Before I end the live, I always give an affirmation for the live. And the affirmation I have for you today is I have faith in my abilities to pursue my dreams no matter what. Andromeda, you have been pursuing your dreams for a number of years now, from Women by Choice to She Wins. We have watched the growth. We have watched you grow. We watched your brand grow. We see all of the amazing things you're doing. We thank you. On this first Saturday of Women's History Month, we thank you for creating these safe spaces for all the women out there to be able to share their thoughts, their feelings, all of the things that they want to do, and I thank God for you. We all thank God for you. I want you to keep up your mission. If there's anything that you need, Tyra's just saying, my platform, we got you. Anything you need promoted, just reach out. We got you. And so, I'm just happy that you was able to come on and join. Though those that are in the Orlando area or who want to fly in, she has an event coming up, Stepping into Sisterhood, Orlando, March the 25th, which will be in approximately 3 weeks, 3 weeks from today.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you go on her website, get her ticket. If you're not following She Wins Society, make sure you are following the She Wins Society. Yes. And if anybody wants to come on and interview, send me a DM and I will get you the link so that we can highlight your business and talk about all of the amazing things that you are doing in your communities, whether virtual or in person.
Thank you, Terry. You're so awesome. I so appreciate you and the invitation to come and your platform. You have definitely
Yes.
filled my heart up
Look,
and made my day. So
this
thank you
was
so much.
great. You are a friend of the show, and I want you to come back whenever you want. Just send me a text or a
Yes.
DM and be like, "Look, can I come on? I got this going on," and I will put you on.
Yes.
If you want to come on before every event, that's fine. If you want to come on while you're doing the event, just let me know, and we got it. We'll go live so folks can see all of the amazing things that's happening.
Thank you, sis.
Yes,
Ah, thank you so
everybody,
much.
this is the fabulous Andromeda Raheem of She Wins Society. Yes, thank you so much for coming on. I want you to have an amazing Saturday. Everybody, y'all have a good Saturday. I will be back on. I know I'm back on tomorrow. I have 2 interviews tomorrow, one at 6 o'clock. I will be interviewing Shanti Refuge journals. So she'll be talking about her journals. And I have LaKyla Tellis coming on. She is Iconic Nurses, y'all. So she's gonna be telling y'all about all the events she has and nursing. So, yes. All right. But everybody have an awesome, prosperous day. Be safe out there on these streets. For those coming in, watch the replay. Thank you again, Andromeda. Have a
Thank
good one. Take care. Bye,
you. Bye, everyone.
everybody. All righty.